Hey guys, what's up? It's Shla. Today it's time for another episode of Car Rides with Shla. I realized something I was thinking about it this morning because I usually try to preconceive some kind of ideas to talk about. It's just a better way to do it, I think, to have some type of a vision going into the morning or the night shift of, hey, this is something I want to talk about. This is something I've been thinking about. But I think I'm running dry. Usually what will happen is I'll want to talk to somebody and then they're not available, and then I get frustrated because there happened to be something I specifically wanted to tell someone or talk about, and I'm never able to. And then eventually I end up forgetting it, and it's not recorded. It's lost to the sands of time. But now everything is recorded. And anytime I feel like there's anything I want to or need to talk about, it's put onto here. What that has done is actually make it so that I'm running out of, there's been this outlet that's always been available. I'm not really too used to that. And so there's really not that much else I think I needed to get off my chest or anything like that, really. Just not really the case. Something I do want to take note of is that I did order the superior plosive filter today. It says 1 to 5 day shipping, so I don't even know if it will necessarily get here by Friday. I really hope it does, but I don't know if Saturday really counts in that. I don't know if Saturday and Sunday count in that 1 to 5. We'll have to see. But fingers crossed. I ordered it early in the morning, so I'm just hoping that things work out. But yeah, the B&H, I've been in numerous situations where B&H has been closed when I needed something. So this is par for the course at this point. I think the only thing I'm a little bit annoyed about is they only had beige in stock, and I really prefer black, but I suppose that's not really a huge problem. I mean, it is what it is, right? I figured the beige won't be that bad because it should line up with my skin better, but I just like black. I love the color black. So I think there was relevant. Sorry, I just bumped into the mic. I have to be aware of that. I guess that's the only thing. I did say I was getting a lot more comfortable with everything, and that is true, but I still think I could use additional. So I'm just confused because this guy's truck had flashing lights. I don't really know. It's just weird. It was just like a regular black truck, and it had flashing lights within it. They were yellow and white, and it looks like the guy could have had a high visibility yellow thing on, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird situation. Very odd. Back to what I was saying. I was thinking about something yesterday that I was interested in talking about. And I guess it's just the concept that I'm in it for another long haul. I always felt like that with my life. I felt like my life has just been incredibly slow. Things have really moved at a snail's pace. At this point, though, it's a lot harder for me to complain because things are probably at an all-time high. I have my outlet now. Like, I have my hobby. This is my hobby, recording. I obviously record for over an hour a day. Well, I feel like, over an hour a day is kind of really selling it up. I feel like I could say I record a little over an hour, or, about an hour a day worth of recording a day. An hour a day worth of recording a day. That sounds a little bit redundant. But I suppose in casual conversation, nobody will criticize me. So there's that. Anyways, where was I? It just kind of feels like another long haul, though. I mean, the thing is, though, it is a better long haul. Like, I'm making money now. I'm doing well. Things are good. I'm able to do a lot of the things that I've always wanted to, really, because there was a time in my life where my expectations were so low for life, and I was just like just a total complete mess. There was times where I never spent any money. I was convinced that was like the path to happiness, is never spending any money at all. As a result of that, I wasn't really interested in making money. It was this whole philosophy about how it wasn't worth it to work because you lost time. And then, even though you gained money, which is really good, you're losing time, so you can't enjoy your money. That was my whole philosophy, and that it's still... Now, granted, of course, people are going to say, this is a very unrealistic mindset you got going on, because you kind of have to have money. You can't just not have money. But I was assuming this through the pretense of living with my parents. So I was just going to live with my parents and like have a chill life. I didn't really want to venture out. I guess I think a lot of people would kind of take advantage. Well, I mean, it's not really, I guess take advantage just sounds a little more negative than it is, but I think it's, but that was my philosophy, right? My philosophy, I thought I had figured it all out, and that it was that it just wasn't worth it to work, because while money brings some level of joy, it also brings pain to earn it. And I'm also very cognizant of just the unequal nature of money and how the whole system works and all that stuff. So that kind of bugged me. There were a lot of things that bugged me. Okay. So yeah, I think I came to this conclusion, and it was making me resist getting a job. And I just think I ended up wasting a lot of time. Now, maybe I wasn't mentally ready. Maybe I was being like a goofball. Everybody matures at their own pace. Not everybody's the same in terms of growing up. But in retrospect, it just doesn't make any sense to me, because now that I am here working, I'm okay with it. I don't really know what else I'd be doing with my time. It just gets to a point where, like, I don't know. I mean, now, with me specifically, at this point, I'd probably be talking. But again, I don't know that I'm ready for full-time talking. Like, I think that would be a mistake to be talking full-time at this point in my life, because I don't really feel that I'm ready. I don't feel that the skill is like enough to where I can sit down each day and talk for hours. Although I'm seeing a lot of really weird... There was just a regular car with like an orange flashing light, a really tiny one. I've never... I'm just so baffled today. I wonder if I can do that. I probably can't, but It's kind of fire. I don't know that I'm ready. I don't think I'm prepared enough yet for that. Now, I could be wrong. I guess it would accelerate my growth as a speaker, but I think where I'm at right now is a good pace. Because I'm still recording an hour a day of content. And it nearly ends up being, like, I would think most weeks it probably hits over 6 hours, because, yeah, it's got to hit over 6. Because the morning shifts are usually, like, probably closer to 35. Like, I'm saying 30, but I feel like the record for a morning shift is at least going to be, like, 31 or 32 or 33. But 34 or 35 is probably the usual for a morning. And then the night, it's usually 40. Or it's usually like at least 38 or something like that. So I think we just scratch 6. I think that's the usual thing is we just scratch 6. If we don't hit 6, we're near 6, I think, most weeks. And that's still a lot. I still think that's a lot of talking. It's more talking than most people do, even who have channels. Like, I think there's a lot of content creators that do not push 6 hours of content a week. So it's definitely something to, I think, be proud of. But also, again, I just don't know that I'm ready for the, like, that pressure anyway. Because I technically could. I feel like I know in the back of my mind in a year I'll be able to be successful off of it and stuff, but I think the pressure would be a little bit too much, and I want to make sure that my capability is a bit higher before then. Get some practice in, and the way it is now, it's very slow, it's very gradual, and I know I was just complaining about that, but the way I'm complaining about it is what's important. Because I'm not complaining about literally what I'm doing or the outcome. I'm complaining about the mental anguish of just the repetitive and slow buildup. Which I'm not complaining about, but I'm saying that it is hard to be in that spot and be looking forward. That is the issue. Because it's not like I'm really complaining about my situation. I kind of see it mapped out. I see how in 1 to 2 years it could become my full-time job, definitely by 3 to 4 years. I just have to show up and be consistent about it, and it will happen. But that's the thing, is for now, I'm just trying to figure out, like, how to have the perspective about it, how to have the patience to deal with it, right? So there's a nuance to what I'm complaining about. It's not direct complaints. I kind of know at this point that that's really the revolving theme of my life, is just repetitive things that are not very, like, built up. And so, again, Car Rides with Schlaw fits that perfectly. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know, what else is new? I guess some minor updates now that I'm just thinking of them. I did listen to a camera recording with the 16 Pro, and I'm not super impressed. I mean, it probably... Oh, well, no, that actually, no, because that's pre-EQ. Never mind. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to do a side-by-side, but I still think this mic is probably a lot better, but we should see the real benefit of it when we use the rear-facing camera, because then that will activate the full regular mic array, and I'm pretty excited about that. Again, I have the thing ordered. I don't know when it's going to get here, though. It may take until next week, but it's relevant because it's good to have the backup mic because as good as this mic is, there's a lot of extra variables that could go wrong, whereas the camera, of course, the camera could technically crash and go wrong, but I think the reliability is basically 100%, whereas the mic might have more of a 98% reliability. I really would not be shocked if over the course of all these recordings and episodes, there's a time where the mic just something happens and it stops working. So just something to keep in mind. I also feel like I should have another phone stand for the mic recording thing so I could really see it better. I'm actually gonna look into that. I don't know why I haven't thought of that before, because you can get them for the AC vent thingies. And so if I put it on there, I'll be able to see while I'm driving. I'll be able to glance to make sure it's still recording. Now I can still do that, but I have to look down a lot more and I can't really tell. So it doesn't really make a lot of, like, I don't know. It would give me a little more peace of mind. So I should definitely probably order those today, actually. Yeah, I should. So that's that. Good idea. And it's recorded too, so I have no reason not to forget. Although I probably won't listen to this recording yet, because I usually listen to them a little bit behind. Anyways, that is the explanation for my complaint. Is I'm happy, I'm grateful, but it's still daunting to look ahead and see that there's just going to be like a full year of this, and it's just going to be day in and day out kind of the same thing. And I don't have a problem with that, right? But it's exciting to think about how my future has so much promise and hope, but then that it's long, it's far, and it's slow. But again, what else is new? I think that's kind of what I've dealt with my whole life, really. It's always what it's been about. Period, you know? So we're getting somewhere. I guess, again, time always flies during these recordings. I always am kind of blown away at how quickly the time passes. It really is just interesting, and it just comes to me. It gets to me. Somehow, some way, the time just passes very quickly, just as if I was having a conversation. Isn't that crazy, though, that I never thought of this sooner, thought to do it? Because I obviously definitely could have, but I don't know, it just didn't come up. Wasn't something that was really on my mind. I have been going 60 now recently, too, because I think that's kind of I was going 50 before, or 55, but again, I think you have to think about, even if it's slightly more fuel efficient, going 60 will inevitably cut down the total duration the car is on by maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and that could theoretically put less wear, especially because in the fifth gear, I'm still hitting exactly 2,500 at 60, which is, so I think 60 is like a better limit, maybe 55. But I have heard 50 is still the best for fuel economy, and I suppose it's possible that I should still be driving 50, but it is tricky with the nature of how people drive. It's very tricky to find, like, to be doing that. Now, I've done it before and I don't really care usually, but since I'm talking and driving now, there's a little bit less concentration available to allocate towards thinking about the drivers around me. It is a lot easier to just try to match their speed a little bit better, which usually people are probably going 70, but 60 seems to be like very good. So It's also kind of a safety thing. Well, of course it's safer to drive slower, but because of the other people driving faster, it's better to be at a comparable speed. I don't know why I'm explaining this. I think I'm just talking to talk. I'm pretty sure the listeners will be aware of that concept. It's definitely been a time, though. May was a very tumultuous time, and June is feeling like more of a trying time, but probably more consistent or stable. But who knows with my life? The way my life is, stuff just happens out of the blue. And then now all of a sudden, oh, this is a thing. Like, this happened completely out of the blue. I just thought May was kind of a crazy month. May could be my favorite. I like June too, though. The only thing is it starts to get too hot. Like, if anything, April... I might actually like April better due to temperature stuff. April's a nice month. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what my favorite month is, but it's an interesting... it's a really interesting topic. I'm sure that's why we come on this show, is to think about what my favorite month is and why, and get into how I associate April with the color pink, and May with the color red, and June with the color sky blue, and July with the color navy blue. This is what we're here for. I haven't really gotten into much philosophy stuff recently. I just don't know that it's been very prevalent and on my mind. I think I just haven't really thought a lot about a lot of deep topics. I think I'm just talking about... I mean, there is depth to, like, even this episode. There was definitely depth to, but I just don't think I'm getting into, like, my like perfect systems or stuff. I had touched on it a little bit in a prior episode, but I guess I assumed that was more of what this series was going to end up being, was my critiques of society. But I guess I just haven't been angry enough. Like, recently I've been okay. I'm kind of okay with things. I have this new phone that is really phenomenal. I think it's finally up to my speed. Like, my whole life I've used technology, and my brain has just completely not been able to get enough out of it. And I finally have something where I'm using it, and it really just seems fast enough. It seems like it's finally caught up with my brain, which, to be fair, is a bit intimidating at the same time. I'm sure some people are thinking that and thinking, oh, that, I don't know why you're saying that as a good thing. Like, isn't that concerning to you that technology has gotten that good? But it actually feels very good to finally have something I think is up to par, up to my standard of what I would want. Now, my computer, I'm a little more disappointed by. I'm not sure entirely. I think it's still because I don't have a GPU, but I'm not super happy with that computer. Something's not happening. Again, it could be the GPU. We're going to find out in actually just about 3 weeks, I think. Because it's really going to be more like 2 weeks. It's probably, we'll just say 3. We'll just round up. In about 3 weeks, I will know what the deal is with the GPU. And if that's the reason why things are kind of sluggish, I will find out. So, but even still, I just don't know that computers are fast enough. And I don't know why that is. It could just be to do with the fact that it's powering Windows 11, which is just a lot heavier of an operating system than iOS. And iOS is probably just so much easier to run that the phone CPUs are good enough for a phone now. But a computer CPU still leaves a bit to be desired. But a lot of it could have to do with the GPU. And then I wanted to get a new GPU, but now things are getting really tight with money. We're kind of at rock bottom because of some recent choices I made. And I have the 3060 12 gigabyte, which should really be good enough, but I'm not sure. I really wanted to get the 5070 because it should be better, but who knows if I need it. I'm not sure that I do. So we're just going to wait and see if the old 3060 I have is good enough or not. And we'll find that out in 3 weeks-ish. I'll get back to you guys. Well, you guys probably won't find out for like 4 weeks, probably. Something like that. I just get very particular about estimates because I also hold other people very accountable and to a very high standard when it comes to when they estimate things for me. So that's why if you ever notice an unusual attention to detail surrounding my estimates, that's precisely why. It's because I hold other people to a very high standard. And I hold myself to as well when it comes to estimates. Okay, we're probably going into this too fast. I took my foot off the throttle, but cutting it very close. Nope, I never had to use the brake. Sorry, I kind of messed with this guy a little bit. Because he was merging, but he's in a big truck. Oh no, he actually... No, I don't know. Oh no, maybe he was. I don't know. Sorry, merging. Sorry, I was just merging. Please forgive me. But yeah, I thought I was going to get more into the systems and stuff, but I don't even know. I feel like since doing the show, I'm just not that like angry. Like I don't know. I'm not like this is good. I don't know if that ruins it though. Like does that because that was like the whole thing I wanted to kind of get to. I always have a lot of these deep topics about society and whatnot and how to fix things. I guess they're just going to come up when they come up, right? They'll just, because for the time being, I just feel like they're not there. I don't know. It's not really what's on my mind. I've just been kind of chilling, listening to music. I'm just not mad. I'm not really. Does that make sense? I feel like my life's too good and it's difficult to just like be venturing into that stuff right now. I don't know how I feel about me saying that though, because as those words are coming out of my mouth, I kind of question that and think, well, that doesn't really sound good. Like you probably should be you should be serious. You should be doing these things, right? That's just immediately what kind of dawns on me. And yeah, so I don't know how I feel about that because I don't really want to be blind to things. But I'm grateful for the way things are in my life right now. It's not like I'm blind in an ignorant way. I don't know. It hasn't really been a lot of stuff that I've talked about, but it's still things that I believe. That there should be more regulations and stuff like that. I'm sure you guys know the gist of it from that other episode where I was talking about it. But it's interesting. Because again, there's also going to get to a point where I'm not really buying stuff anymore. There's only so much other stuff to purchase. I want to get a better pair of headphones. At some point, I really could look into a better microphone for the car, although I really lucked out with this one because this only cost me $60, and typically it's costing in the range of $100 to $300 brand new. And there are better microphones for the car, but the thing that I don't like about them is the cost. I mean, in order to get a better mic, it could cost me $300 or $400, and it's just not going to be that much better. But I am curious to look into that too, I guess at some point, but it's not really a priority right now. I do think this one sounds particularly good. It's just that the main thing is if it was cardioid, it would be better because it would reduce the background noise a little bit more. So that's like a pretty important thing to keep in mind. It's probably the biggest thing. It's just that on these really tiny microphones, it's expensive to produce a cardioid polar pattern. It's difficult too. It's expensive. Oh no, is this timing going to be bad? No, it shouldn't be. We should make it good. These lights are tricky though. This is probably the worst part of the commute, is just dealing with these lights. They're just not, I don't know. I feel like the way lights are programmed is just poor. They don't really time them properly or anything like that. And it's very frustrating. There's so many lights where it just seems like things aren't really well thought out. Oh boy. And then of course, if things go well in the other one, then you usually end up getting stopped at this one, and you guys know how lights work. I was expecting though, I guess I was expecting to talk about more stuff, but I've just kind of been at peace now. Am I getting too happy? Is this a problem? I'm losing my depth. I'm losing the depth. Maybe this is why I can't give in to things, because when I give in to my desires and now like I have everything I want, the depth isn't there anymore. The pain, the artist's pain. Anyways, it's time for TLDR with Slot. Today we talked about how my mind's going kind of blank, but in a good way. It's peaceful, it's refreshing, and it's energizing. I am very happy about it. We also talked about some microphone stuff, how I got things ordered, and then I don't really know what else we got into. We just talked about myself a little bit maybe, and it was kind of a boring episode. Oh, I talked about building my skill and etc. A lot of repeated themes, I suppose. Anyways, bye, Schla!